Am I the asshole for injuring myself before my sister's wedding? I and my sister have always had great relations. Recently, her fiancé, let's call him Josh, had proposed to her. She invited the entire family and a few of her friends to the wedding. 4 days before the wedding, I was cycling around the neighborhood I live in. I accidentally took a sharp turn and planted face first into the concrete. I bruised my leg, part of my face and arms unfortunately. I thought I shouldn't go to the wedding. This reached my sister a few hours after I came back home and started treating my scar. And I tell you, she was furious. She told me that because of some dumb scar I can't come to a relative's birthday. She also accused me of doing this on purpose just so I wouldn't have to see her friend, my ex. About 1 hour later I got an entire paragraph from my mother, stating I am a liar and a selfish person. There were 2 main reasons why I couldn't attend the wedding. First, after the crash I felt extremely nauseous and dizzy. Second, I could not dare to walk into a public area with a large, bright red dot on my forehead. My husband, let's call him Damien, also decided not to go to the wedding due to the way my sister treats me. During the time I am writing this, it is 3 days before the wedding and I still feel extremely sick. My mother is scolding me for not being able to attend a wedding for a medical event. She says that my sister has attended all of my important events. My graduation, my own wedding, etc. I accept that. But getting bombarded by angry messages from my mom because I got hurt is horrible in my eyes. So Reddit. Am I the asshole? You need to sort out your priorities. First, after the crash I felt extremely nauseous and dizzy. So see a doctor, get checked out. Second, I could not dare to walk into a public area with a large, bright red dot on my forehead. This is a non-issue, and if this is the reason you're giving your sister for skipping her wedding, I'm not surprised that she's fuming. Okay, as someone in the medical field, if you are feeling ill after 3 days after a bike crash, you need to go to the ER. You should not be feeling this way. Please, not the asshole, but go to the ER immediately. This is a concussion. See a doctor and get treated. Wedding or birthday? I am all lost here. Go to the doctor. This is like an episode of Judge Judy. I face planted. But let me go on Reddit and ask whether I'm being an ass to my sister who's getting married soon. OPFFS. Priorities. Have you been looked at? Why is your family ripping into you? Unless this is a weird pattern of hurting yourself before important days of celebration, WTF. Go see a doctor. Info: did you want to go to the wedding before your accident? You're the asshole. If you really wanted to go to the wedding, bruising and a scar wouldn't stop you. The only real issue is dizziness and nausea, which you have 4 days, plenty of time to see a doctor and get treated. At the very least, you go to the doc and get the dizziness, nausea looked at, and then see how you feel day of, and if you're actually still too sick to go, then. Meanwhile, what's with this sentence? She told me that because of some dumb scar I can't come to a relative's birthday. Where did a birthday come into play? If I'm understanding correctly, you decided 4 days before the wedding you couldn't go. BC, you would have a red dot on your head and you were dizzy and sick at your stomach 4 days beforehand. Yes, you're the asshole. BC, it was an excuse. Not one for having an accident, but using nausea 4 days before and a mark on your head as an excuse. Not the asshole. But those are textbook concussion symptoms and you need to go to the hospital. I'm surprised you didn't go to the hospital on day 1. You don't want to go. Just admit it. Your family is being a bit much, but IDKY having a bruise etc. would keep you from going out in public. Regardless, definitely go to the doctor if you're still feeling dizzy, nauseous. I would say just see how you feel that day, and if you're alright, go. Info. What is your doctor saying about you feeling sick after falling from a bike 3 days after? That is not normal op. Unless a doctor says that you need to be hospitalized or bedridden. You need to suck it up and be there for your sister. You are acting like a child. And go get your head checked out to make sure you don't have a concussion. Now. You have concussion symptoms. Concussion is a brain injury. You do not want to wait on this. Info. Did you get checked for a concussion? Those symptoms are concerning. Did you get checked out? You could have a concussion or brain injury due to the nausea and dizzy spells. That's not good. Also, it's weird that you say you and your sister have a great relationship, but it seems vitriolic. You even say your husband says she doesn't treat you right. Feels like this was a minor accident that could conveniently be inflated to get out of something you didn't want to do in the first place. You're the asshole. Not for injuring yourself, but for not going to a medical professional and getting checked for concussion. Your husband, who I assume knows your symptoms, would be better off bringing you to a doctor instead of declaring that he won't be going to the wedding. Go to the hospital. If you are dizzy, you may have a concussion. Go to the you have a concussion. Why are you worrying about this, bro? Go to the but yeah, not the asshole. Now. See a doctor. Attend wedding if you're able. Be sure to be in the photos. Well, you would be more than a little crazy if it was deliberate. And they are more than a little crazy to suggest it was. And go to the not a doctor but a klutz and raised a couple of kids. You are exhibiting signs of more serious head injury. I am begging you to go to a hospital now and be seen. Now. Please. Both tar. I feel like you don't actually want to go anyway. It's not like you've broken a leg or bed bound. Your sister and mother shouldn't be nasty in texts. But I can absolutely understand some reasoning as to why your sister is angry. Why are you focused on how you will look at your sister's wedding? It's not about you, it's about your sister and future-in-law. If you're feeling sick from that for a good few days after, you need to see a doctor. Well, you're not the asshole for injuring yourself, clearly not. It was an accident. A bump scar on your head isn't an acceptable excuse to not go to the wedding, and it was a bit premature of you to suddenly decide you can't go 4 days before. However, if you are feeling as sick and unwell as you say you do, I would go and get yourself checked out, as you may have a concussion. YTA sounds like a concussion, but if you're still feeling that bad 3 days a day later, you need to go to a friggin' doctor. Then you slip the "I look bad sir, I don't want to go in." So is it you feel ill or look bad? Edit Ms. Reddit. It's 3 days before the wedding. Nonetheless, go to a doctor. It kinda sounds like you just don't want to go. Instead of seeking treatment, then waiting to see if the treatment helps. You decided immediately that you weren't going to go to the wedding. For that, you're the asshole. I can see why your sister is so upset. Sounds like a possible concussion. Go to the You should see a doctor. Your mom should be saying that. You are feeling sick after an accident. That's no bueno. Go to the hospital ASAP. Sounds serious.